Hello and welcome. This is our junior certificate mathematics lesson. Today's topic is on percentages. My name is Ragwani Khare. With me is Elena Nejal Masawi. Join us as we discuss this topic further. Before we start elaborating on this topic, let us have a look at the lesson objectives so that we know exactly what we are to cover under today's topic. These are our lesson objectives. The lesson objective says calculating profit or loss. So this simply means we are going to be calculating profit or loss. Then the second objective says calculating the percentage loss or the percentage profit. That is, here now you are going to express the loss as a percentage or the profit as a percentage. Now, let us have a look at the statement written here before we can start discussing this topic further. The statement says, when someone buys an item and sells it for a higher amount, he or she makes a profit. That is, when you buy an item and then you sell it for a higher amount, you are making a profit. But if she or he decides to sell it for a lower amount, then a loss occurs. If you are going to buy if you are going to buy an item and then after buying it, you sell it at a lower price as compared to what you bought that item for, then it means you are going to incur loss. Then the next statement says the cost price is the amount one has originally paid. That is, the money that you pay for an item before you sell it is what we call the original price. Then we go on and say the selling price, the amount one sells an item for. After buying an item, you may decide to sell it. Now, if you sell it, we got what we call a selling price. And then what else do we have? It says loss or profit is the difference between the cost price and the selling price. So we are saying loss of profit because if you are going to incur loss, then it means you are going to subtract the selling price from the cost price. But for loss to occur, it means the selling price is going to be smaller than the cost price. But for profit, the selling price will be greater than the cost price. Now, let me hear from the learner here with me what else he wants us to discuss in this lesson.
Thank you, sir. I want you to discuss, given examples about the concept of profit. You should also include the percentage profit in the examples that you are going to discuss.
Thank you, Nigel. You are saying I should discuss profit and give examples so that you may understand this topic a little bit better. Let us have a look at the example. The example says a shop bought radio cassette player for 280 pula and sells it for 350 pula. Find the profit. That is the first question. You are to find the profit. Now, remember, we are saying a shop bought radio cassette player for 280 pula. This is the cost price. This is the price that this person is buying this radio cassette for. Is 280 pula. This is the cost price or the original price. Then we have this 350 pula, which is the selling price. He is now selling this for 350 pula. Before you can even start computing this, we can see that he's selling it at a much higher price than what he bought it for. So this simply means this person is going to get profit. Now let us find the profit. How do you find the profit? We are to answer part A. It is 350 minus 280. Minus 280. And then what does this give you? This will be the profit. It's 70 pula. You can as well use the units, 70 pula. This is our profit. Then B says find the percentage profit. Now, you are to find what the percentage profit here is. Remember, 70 pula is your profit. Now, what about the percentage profit? Percentage profit will be 70. This is your B now. It will be 70 divided by the amount that you first bought this item for. So it's 70 divided by 280. 280. Then multiply this by 100% because we are now looking for percentage. This cancels this. And then 7 here, ones here, 0. And then into 28, it's 4. So what we have? We have 10 times 10% divided by 4. This is just 10 times 10 is 100 divided by 4. It's 100% divided by 4. What do we get? 100 divided by 4. This will be 25%. So the percentage profit is 25%. So this is our percentage profit. Now, let me hear from Nigel what else he wants us to cover.
Thank you for that discussion. What about percentage loss? Please give an example of percentage loss.
Thank you, Nigel. You are saying I should discuss a question which involves percentage decrease. This was a percentage increase. So what about percentage loss rather? Not increase but loss. This was a percentage profit. What about percentage loss? Let us have an example dealing with a percentage loss. It says a retail shop in Gaborone bought a bed for 2,000 pula from the manufacturer. After some months, the shop manager decides to mark down the price of the bed to 1,600. Find the percentage loss. So we are to find the percentage loss for this. Now, before we can continue with this question, let us go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with this question. Welcome back from the short break. Remember, we are discussing profit and loss. Now, before we went for break, we are still discussing our question here, which says a retail shop in Gaborone bought a bed for 2,000 pula from the manufacturer. After some months, the shop manager decides to mark down the price of the bed to 1,600. Find the percentage loss. So here, it means we are going to be finding the percentage loss. Now, let us work it out. Percentage loss. The original price of the bed is 2,000. So it's 2,000 minus 1,600. This gives us 400 pula. So this is the loss. After buying this for 2,000, now the retail shop is deciding to sell this at 1,600, making a loss of 400 pula. Now, what is the percentage loss? We are now to find the percentage loss. So the percentage loss will be 400 divided by the original price, which is 2,000, times 100%. And then this will cancel this 0. This one will cancel this. And then this one, this. So what do we have? We've got 40%, because it's 40 times 1%. So this gives us 40%. So it's 40% divided by 2, giving us, this will give us 20%, giving us 20%. So this simply implies there is a loss of 20%. So the percentage loss is 20%. This has answered your question, I want to believe. Now, what else will you want us to cover under today's objectives?
Thank you, sir. I'm really enjoying this lesson. Sometimes we're expected to find the selling price of the percentage profit and original price. Please work out this problem of such kind.
Thank you. You want me to discuss situation where you are given the original price and then the percentage profit, and then come out with the selling price. We are going to discuss that and then elaborate more on it by looking at an example here with me on the board. The example says a tech shop owner bought a loaf of bread for 4.50. She wants to make a 40% profit. How much should she sell the bread for? She wants to make a profit of 40%. Now, how much did she buy this loaf of bread for? 4.50. So we are to find out what 40% of 4.50 is. Then from there, because it says how much should she sell this bread for, after finding what 40% of 4.50 is, then we'll add to 4.50. So let us find what 40% of 4.50 is. This will be 40 divided by 100 multiplying 4.50. It's money, 2 decimal places. Now, this 0 and then this. Then, this simply means you are now dividing by 10. When you divide by 10, you just move the point once to the left. So this will be 4 times 0.450. We are dividing by 10. So when we are dividing by 10, the point moves once to the left. So this is what we are going to get. Now from there, get your calculator and then multiply what 40 times 0.450 is, so that we get out what 40% is. Now, this is 4 times 0.45. What do we get? 1.80. So the answer here, we are getting 1.80. The answer here is 1.80, meaning this tech shop owner wants to make a markup of 1.8030. This is the profit that he wants to make. Now, the question says, how much should she sell the bread for? Remember, the 1.80 is the profit. So, how much should she price the bread, the loaf of bread for? The price of this loaf should be 4.50 plus 1.8030. It's 4.50 plus 1.8030, and then this gives us, it's 6.3030. This is how much, this is the price that she has to put on the loaf of bread. This was a percentage profit. Now what about percentage loss? Let us have a look at an example which involves percentage loss. It says, find the selling price of an item when the cost price is 8,000 and the percentage loss is 6.25. So we are going to start by calculating what the 6.25% of 8,000 is. So this will be 6.25 divided by 100 times 8,000 times 8,000. So this is what we are having. This cancels this. This cancels this. So now we have 6.25 times 80. 6.25 times 80. The question says find the selling price. So we have to find this. Now take your calculator and then multiply 6.25 times 80. Yes, it's times 80. This gives you 500. So our answer here is 500. 500. Now, what does the question say? This 500 is the loss. It's not the percentage loss, but it's the loss. Now, the question says find the selling price of an item when the cost price is 8,000 and the percentage loss is this. Now, because this person is going to lose 500, we are going to subtract this 500 from 8,000. That will be the selling price. Now, let us do that. Is 8,000 minus 500. And what do we get? This is 7,500. 7,500. Now, this is the selling price that we were expected to calculate. Find the selling price of an item when the cost price is 8,000 and the percentage loss is 6.25. So the selling price of that item after making a loss of 6.25% will be 7,500. This is the price, the selling price. Now, remember, dealing with profit and loss. When is profit? It's adding. Loss, subtracting. Now, let us go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with our lesson. Welcome back from the short break. We are still discussing percentage loss and percentage profit. Now, let me hear from the student, the learner here with me, what you want us to do at this point in time.
Before I let you go, Mr. Khare, what if you are to find the cost price when you're given the selling price and the percentage profit or percentage loss?
Thank you. You want me to discuss a situation where we are to find the original price from the selling price and the percentage profit or loss. Now, let us have a look at the example here. Tebogo sells his car for 30,000 pula, making a loss of 40% on the cost price. Work out the cost price of the car. We are given the selling price as 30,000 pula. And then we are also told that there's a loss of 40% on this 30,000. Now it says we are to find the cost price. That is the price that he bought this vehicle for. Now, this is how this question is answered. Let us allow the original price of the vehicle to be X. Let us allow the original price of the vehicle to be X. So X minus 40 over 100, not over X but over 100, times X, giving you this, which is 30,000. 30,000. That's what we have. Now, after this, X minus 40 over 100 times X, giving you 30,000. After this now, we are to find the cost of this car. Now, let us understand that the cost price of this car is X. So this simply means we are now solving for X. To solve for X, this is 40 over 100 times X, 30,000 over 1. So we are going to multiply throughout by 100. This will be 100X here, minus 40X. It's equals to 30,000 times 100. Now when we multiply 30,000 times 100, it will be 0, 0 here. Now 100x minus 40x, this gives us 60x. 60x, it's equals to 3, 0. How many zeros do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there should be the last 0. Let us check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. This is what we have. Now, this one simply means we now have to divide both sides by 60 because we are solving for x. Divide by 60. And then our x will be equals to, this is supposed to be equals to this and then this. Right? 6 here, once. 6 into 30, it's 5. And then 6 into this 0, 0. Into this, it's another 0. Into this 0, 0. And then into this is 0. So this simply means the cost price of this vehicle is 50,000. 50,000. Right. Now let us have a look at the question so that we are certain, if at all, we have answered it correctly. They will sell this car for 30,000, making a loss of 40% on the cost price. So our cost price is 50,000. This is the cost price of the vehicle. I want to believe this question has answered the question that you asked. You want me to continue giving you an example which involves a situation where we are given the selling price and then the percentage profit, but we are to find the cost price. In that example, we should find a situation where instead of having a loss price is now a percentage increase. Now let us have a look at that example. It says a freezer is priced for 2,990. This makes a profit of 15% on its cost price. Find the cost price. We start by calculating what 15. Rather, it says a freezer is priced for 2,990. This makes a profit of 15% on its cost price. So we are not given the cost price. This is the selling price. 2,990 is the selling price. So we should start by finding the cost price. So this will simply say, let us now assign the cost price to be y. Y plus, because its profit is going to be plus 15 divided by 100 times y it's equals to 2990. This gives us, we now have to multiply everything here by 100 so that we clear the denominator 100 here. So this will be 100y plus 15y equals to 2990 times 100, 0, 0, because you are multiplied by 100 on both sides. So this will be 115y, it's equals to 299000. Remember, we are solving for y in this case. Now divide both sides by 115. Divide here by 115. So it's 299000 divided by 115. 299 000 divided by, it's divided by 115. Let me check, it's 299000 by 115. What do we get? 2600. This gives us our y. Our y is 2660. What does this say? Let us have a look at that question, and then we'll know what the question wants us to do. It says a freezer, a freezer's price for 2990. This makes a profit of 15% on its cost price. Find the cost price. So what should be the cost price? The cost price of this is 2660. That is 2,660. It makes sense because we can see that there's an increase of 15% to make 2990. We have now come to the end of today's lesson. But remember, we were dealing with profit and loss. Now, go and revise mathematics under profit and loss. This is all I have for you today. Till we meet again in the next lesson. Thank you.